Camels might be among the most patient animals out there, but even they will lose their temper if pushed hard enough, and when they do, nothing will stop the explosion of fury that results. Don't believe me? Stick around and see for yourself. Let's go! In a super rare clip, this huge camel had stumbled upon a very venomous Gila monster and it became very curious. The camel was absolutely fearless and it wanted to bite the strange looking lizard to try and figure out what it was. Thankfully, the camel's owner was there to stop it before it did so, but that didn't stop the huge beast from killing the deadly lizard. It must have known that it was bad news and wanted to protect its owner from it, so when it couldn't bite it to death, it decided to stomp on it with all of its might, and soon enough, it had turned the vicious monster into a pile of mush. Here we have a camel that was going around trying to bite the rear of the horses that lived with it on the same farm. It's a bit unusual for a camel to start trouble for no reason, so what do you think happened here? Was the camel just trying to remind everyone of who was boss? Or do you think the horses had done something to deserve it? Or maybe they had done something that the camel had interpreted in the wrong way? Or did the owner show a little bit too much attention to the horses and made the camel feel jealous? Tell us what you think in the comments section down below, but whatever the case, I'm glad this didn't turn into a full-fledged fight. A foolish donkey spotted a camel on a leash and thought that it could mess with it here. It probably figured that the camel couldn't chase after it. However, once the donkey tried to kick the camel, the latter was more than capable of fighting back, biting the donkey and trapping its head under it, which completely restricted the donkey's movement. Despite being at a disadvantage, the camel still managed to subdue its sneaky opponent. It was like fighting with one arm tied behind its back, but our fearless champion didn't disappoint. The donkey learned a harsh lesson that it would never forget, not to take advantage of others or try to kick them while they're down in order to feel tough. In the end, neither the donkey nor the camel were seriously hurt, but the donkey's ego was seriously bruised. Another epic battle between two camels broke out here. The two giants immediately started trying to knock each other down, but that was clearly a difficult thing to do even for them. Camels are very steady on their feet, and to knock one over would require immense strength. These two understood that very well, but in order to win the fight, that was their best bet: knock the other over and bite their neck to pin them down. Too bad the clip ended too soon, cause I bet you it took both of them forever to finally knock the other down. Here we see two desert wolves attacking a mother camel and her young. The wolves are relentlessly trying to drag the baby away, biting and pulling with all their might. But the brave mother refuses to back down. She fiercely fights back, using her powerful legs to strike the wolves with precise, relentless kicks. She's not just defending her baby, she's making sure these foolish predators regret ever picking this fight. Here's what happens when camels do run out of patience. This camel kept trying to defuse the situation and avoid having to teach a very hostile donkey lesson that it clearly needed. But once the camel realized that its smaller opponent wasn't going to stop acting like a big shot without a proper disciplinary response, it unleashed its fury on it and made it realize that it had bittern more than it could chew. Donkeys are often too confident and too hostile to handle with patience. They will usually never stop until they understand that they've put themselves in a dangerous situation, which is exactly how it went down here. But just like with any other animals, they do exhibit a high amount of rivalry between one another. And for animals that are so big and powerful, their battles are usually very destructive ones, just like you can see in here. Camels are very prideful and they can hold a grudge when they feel like they've been treated unfairly or humiliated in any way. These two would have probably killed one another if it wasn't for the cameraman calling their owner to break up the fight. But just because the battle was stopped, it doesn't mean that they won't try to settle the score later on. Donkeys being kept with camels can be a huge problem, but unfortunately, most livestock owners only realize that after the fact. Donkeys can become very hostile and territorial in their teenage years and during their mating seasons, and they're almost guaranteed to try and dominate whatever animals they happen to come across, which is exactly what happened here. The ambitious donkey tried to establish its dominance over the much larger and more powerful camel, but it quickly realized that it had picked the wrong opponent. The camel immediately grabbed the donkey by the back of the neck and practically paralyzed it, and there was nothing that the donkey could do except to regret its foolish decision. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to Virex, and ring the notification bell so you never miss our latest uploads. See you in the next video.